Okay, so I recently saw Spider-Man, A Brand New Day, and I don't want to give a film review, basically, and I want to talk about some spoilers because I want to talk about a story issue. But yeah, the Spider-Man movie, overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, a good superhero experience, which is becoming more and more rare. They did the thing that's been missing, adding the human element to the movie, and that was there, and it was played up strong and a big part of the experience. Which, without that, it's just you might as well be watching CGI or whatever, digital fighting scenes or whatever. But with that human element, it helps the illusion take with you, and you can sink into the story better and suspend disbelief with the fight scenes and stuff. The fighting and the action in this movie was really good. It was classic Spider-Man to me. It took me back. I had been a Spider-Man fan for a long time. I was one of those '70s kids with the Spider-Man underoos, the real tight Spider-Man underwear or PJs, whatever it was called. And it will be so tight because, as a kid you're growing, but you didn't want to give up your Spider-Mans. So it would be like all the way up here, you still trying to fit in it. And it's got it's all pilled up because it's been washed a million times and all these holes all over it. Yeah, that was me wearing the Spider-Man underoos. And I used to climb all over everything in our house. We had these railings and stuff, and I'd climb up there. And I had a tape cassette player with the actual cassette that I held up to the TV so I could record the theme song, the opening theme song to the Spider-Man cartoon. I think it came out in 1967, a little before my time, but it was still on TV. And I used to love that song. And I would play the theme song and climb up the railings and stuff. And it only lasted like 90 seconds, I don't know how long. And so I would play the song, climb up there and do my Spider-Man stuff with my underoos on. And then the song would run out on the cassette. So I had to climb back down or jump down, push rewind on the cassette player, wait for it to rewind, hit play, and do it again for the next 90 seconds or so. And I would do that for hours. But anyway, so I've been a long time classic Spider-Man fan. And I used to fight the arch villains. I had two super villains that actually lived with me, and they were disguised. They looked like my older sisters, but I know deep inside they were really super villains. And so I used to have to take them out. But anyway, so that's a longtime Spider-Man fan. So a lot of the elements in this movie had that feel, that classic Spider-Man in New York City, swinging around the buildings feel. And it was just the way it was shot, the point of view. It really felt took me back those old childhood memories of how much I used to love Spider-Man. But anyway, the thing I wanted to talk about with this story, with a Brand New Day Spider-Man movie, it's a spoiler alert. And it's just one small aspect of the story, but I think there was a lesson here. That one small thing that didn't work for me, and it didn't work, period. But some people probably didn't. It didn't bother them as much. But I'm going to talk on that, and that is the character, the villain in this movie, or the supposed villain for much of the movie. Ends up being Jean Grey. And most Marvel fans know that some form of Jean Grey, they remember her as a member of the X-Men. And Jean Grey was also the character that became the Dark Phoenix. But the thing about Jean Grey, she was not an evil person. That the Phoenix did bad things and had evil elements. The character, overall was a good person. Now, one thing about when you're in your stories and creating stories and storytelling, we look for the characters to change over time sometimes. With this thing, everybody, they talk about the character arc, right? How does your character change throughout the story? And in some stories, your character doesn't always have to change. Remember that. And when they do change, they change the way they react within the story world. But what doesn't change, or what shouldn't change, is who your character is at their core, right? And it's two different things. So on one, on the externally or the roles we play in reality, you want to see sometimes they want a story where the character arcs and changes. But in characterizations, there's the part that changes, just like you in your real life, like you've grown and you've become a different person over time. But the person you were the day you were born, that core is the same person you're going to be when you die. That part doesn't change. That's like your higher self, just having an experience in this as an avatar in this reality. So that higher self, it's not going to change. What's going to change is how your avatar reacts in this reality if you grow, so to speak. So keeping that in mind, this is where I thought the story fell off, where they missed. Because Jean Grey was not, some of the things she does in the movie are just kind of evil and mean. And Jean Grey never came across as mean-spirited, right? And that kind of bumped me in the movie. I was like, okay, this is, unless this is an alternate universe where Jean Grey is going to stay evil the whole time. But then towards the end of the story, they tried to have her, when she sees the vision of Aunt May, and then she's all of a sudden not quite as evil. But see, that doesn't work for me. It's like good people do bad things all the time. And sometimes bad people will do good things. But the people, who you are at your core really should stay the same. And the characters you create and in your own, who you are and how you are. Usually that's how it is, right? And that's where they missed, I think. And they missed an opportunity. And had they had a story consultant such as Story Ray, I might have told them something about, or I might have recommended an opportunity for, just based on what the story, not changing their story, but just based on what their current narrative was. Here's what I would have recommended. With the Jean Grey character, because she had a sister. Now in the comics, the sister is not a mutant. She doesn't have the powers in most of the versions. But in this story, they made the sister the mentor, so to speak, that taught Jean Grey how to use her psychic abilities to jump from people to people, to jump inside people. And so using that, and the fact that the sister, Sarah Grey, was killed, and she could jump into people, I thought it would have been a great opportunity to have her jump when she died, when Sarah Grey got killed, they could have had her jump into Jean Grey, like one last jump across space and time, where she can go past the boundaries because she's not coming back into her dead body. So that's how you would get past the limit, the 33 feet or whatever the limit was that she could jump. Have her jump into her sister, because if they were that close and it was just the two of them, and she knew she was about to die, she would probably want to see her sister one last time, or talk to, that makes logical sense to me. So if Sarah could have jumped into Jean Grey, and there would be two of them inside Jean's body, one Jean and the second one Sarah, the evil sister, now we could explain why she was, throughout this movie, the Brand New Day movie, why Jean Grey was evil, doing some evil stuff and some mean stuff. She tried to kill MJ and stuff, and she had the guy step in front of the truck and gets run over by a truck. They didn't show that he died, but I mean, he got hit by a truck, a fast-moving truck, so he's probably dead. And then when the helicopter explodes, people could have been killed with that. So how do you go from there to become this heroic Jean Grey of the X-Men? I mean, I guess they're planning on, obviously she's going to meet Professor X eventually, and he's going to try and fix her up or whatever. But if she had the evil sister inside of her that would take over and do the evil things, then I could buy it, because the good Jean Grey would still be there, and she would just be fighting for control over her body with her evil sister. And that way we could preserve the heroic side of Jean Grey, because where they're going now, if she turns around in the next time we see her, she's like this hero. That's her core character changes too much, and that's going to throw me out. I thought they missed an opportunity there, because if she had her sister within her, that would explain why she's so much more powerful than her sister was, right? If the two of them, both of them, were inside. And then another way that they could have used that is if they wanted to revisit. Now, you could say that they already overdid the Phoenix, the Dark Phoenix storyline, but if they wanted to revisit it, but update it, rather than do the same thing over, to make some changes to it, the Dark Phoenix could have been the sister, and Professor X could have found a way to put the sister in a box, so Jean Grey could just be a good hero. But then she gets out of that box and becomes the Dark Phoenix, and that's really Sarah Grey taking over. But yeah, see, Marvel, you should have called me. That's what I do. I give story consultation. Anyway, it was a good movie though. Overall, I enjoyed it, which is a pleasant surprise, because the other superhero movie I saw this summer, I didn't enjoy it very much, and I'm just gonna leave that there, and just leave it at that. All right, so what'd you think? Tell me in the comments.
This episode is brought to you by Darius Loves. It's a short story available on Amazon and Spotify. Check it out and leave a review.